Welcome, viewers. My name is Justin Makarevich, and I'm Associate Director of Employer Relations and Recruiting Relations at Baruch College's Zicklin School of Business's Graduate Career Management Center. Thank you for joining us today. So we're going to talk about tips for networking events. And what we'll cover today are what they are, why attend them, preparing for them, what to do day of or at the event, and then also what to do afterwards. So networking events, I know that people think about them and they're like, you know what, I'm all clear about what these are, but it's important to sort of understand what networking events are. So at these events, you get an opportunity to know different people and meet different people. There's an opportunity also for people to get to know you. This is also an opportunity to build professional relationships, as well as widening your knowledge and perspective in general. So why attend? All of those things that I just discussed, but also it helps you communicate, and relationships in general help you succeed within your career, your life, whatever it might be. So being able to attend these types of events is very important. So going into a networking event just sort of blindly is definitely one option, but preparing for them will really help to maximize your experience. So one thing to do in preparing for attending a networking event is first prepare to enjoy the experience. These are enjoyable events, and they should be enjoyable to you too. If they start to feel like they're a chore, you're not going to get much out of them, and you're probably not going to want to continue to go to them too. So go at your pace, be comfortable, and really just prepare to enjoy the experience. One thing to think about, especially if these are on campus or Baruch-related virtual networking events, is that you're going to want to know who's actually attending. So go people first and research who will be there. So usually there'll be a list of attendees, or maybe there's going to be one or two panelists, or maybe there's going to be 5 or 6 or more breakout rooms or tables or things like that where you can go up to meet people. So take some time to research about the people who are coming. Look at their LinkedIn profile. Maybe they've made some posts or done some content. Where did they work? What are the companies where they've worked? Not only where they're working now, but also where they worked before. What are some job titles that they had? Where are some of the industries that they've worked in? Because maybe they've jumped around industries. How about their educational background? And then what about some of the skills? So do some work on that. It really makes sense to do so. And so after you've done that preparation, what are some questions that you would come up with the people that are going to be there? Because the thing in the networking event is you're going to have an opportunity to lead a discussion and really talk about things and ask some questions. And some of the best questions that you can really come up with are questions after you've looked at their backgrounds. So after looking at the background of the people or individuals who are attending, now what are you interested in learning more? What more would you like to know about them? Are you looking for advice after having learned about these people that are coming? Get a sense really about what are the questions that you want to ask. If for some reason there might be an event on campus or so like that, or virtual or in person, and no information is given about the people who are attending, so be prepared to ask them to share what about their backgrounds and things like that. So day of, it's always great to arrive 5 to 10 minutes early, no matter if it's in person or virtual. So virtual, 5 minutes before, check that your camera's on and that it works and looks good. The light is on you in a good position. You're not dark, etc. You can make sure also that your background is blurred so that people can't see what's behind you that can be distracting. Wear a button-up shirt where it always looks really good, and be somewhere quiet so that there's no background noise that's coming through when your mic is on. We talk about the camera, and I just want to focus on really what the experience is like. So again, in a virtual networking experience, when you can see everybody on camera, the experience is so much better, not only for you as a participant, but also for the individuals who have taken some time to participate. So just as an example, this is a great screenshot of being able to see everybody on camera, seeing everybody in that room, versus so many people having the camera off. It's just names, a couple of still photos and headshots, and nobody really knows of the participants, no one really knows who they're talking to. When you're able to put your camera on an individual that you end up networking with virtually in a group setting, for example, is going to be able to see you and connect with you as well. If it's an in-person event, wear clean and casual clothes. Be ready also just to speak with people. In-person events, this is where it's just, as far as networking, it's really just sort of an open forum, open room. There might be some structure to it. You never know. Maybe some individuals might be at a table with a table number or tent card, saying who that person is so that you can go up and speak with them. Or maybe it's just people with name tags, but you're going to want to be ready to speak with people. So this is an example, right, of people being able to talk in groups, going up, saying hello. Sometimes if you're not comfortable doing this alone, you can always go with friends, so that you can tag team and kind of support each other to go up and talk and network with people. These are just some examples of what it looks like. And I know that you've seen them before for sure. In a group network setting, don't be shy here to be able to communicate and ask questions. And this is either virtually in say a breakout room or even in person, because you're going to want to also ask your questions, right? But you're going to also want to give others the opportunity to ask questions, help each other out, and maintain the conversation when you're talking with professionals. Definitely thank attendees. You're going to want to also state your name and your program so that people can understand what program you're in, what it is that your educational background is. Have a pen and paper to take notes. So this is, again, either virtually or in person. It's always great to have a pen and paper. And it's going to be really important to ask thoughtful questions. So what are thoughtful questions? We talked about it a little bit before when we're researching somebody's background and coming up with some questions after having done that research. But questions you've really thought about, that's what thoughtful questions are. So avoid questions that are easily answered through research, like where somebody might have gone to school, unless you can't really find that information, or or other things like that. By asking really thoughtful questions, you're going to get more out of the interaction. You're going to show that you care and you're also serious, and attendees will appreciate it. It shows that you actually appreciate that they're coming to network with you. Let's go through some examples as thoughtful questions. So, for example, I saw in your LinkedIn profile that you've been working in data analytics for 5 years or so. I would love to hear about one of your favorite projects you worked on, since the bulk of my experience has been in class. So this is an example of a pretty thoughtful question, because the person asking it's gone through somebody's profile or maybe even heard them speak about it at an event, maybe that might gone through their profile and saw that they're working in data analytics for about 5 years, and maybe they've worked at different companies, but ultimately this person would just like to hear about one of the favorite projects that person worked on within data analytics, since their experience, the person asking the question, that student, has really just been in-class experience. So that's a good example of a thoughtful question. Here's another one. You mentioned that you did a career change into financial services. I'm looking to do the same in my career. What really worked for you to successfully make the change, right? So this is an example here where you're listening. Hey, I heard you mentioned that you did a career change in financial services, right? So there's that. You're tying it also to yourself in the sense of you're looking to do the same thing, and you're wanting to then, the question here is really about what worked for you. Gives that opportunity for the individual to speak about what their journey was in making the change. And also the person asking the question really shows that that person's listening to what the individual is saying. And then here's another example, the last example. There have been a number of issues impacting technology companies, especially data privacy. I've been studying data privacy in my classes. I'm curious about what some of the issues or trends that your technology clients are facing. So this is an opportunity where an individual can definitely communicate how they have some knowledge of issues that are impacting an industry because they've studied it. Again, it doesn't have to necessarily be about data privacy. It can really be anything that you're studying that relates to the person that you're talking to, or even not necessarily studying, but even if you've gone and studied and researched it on your own, a topic on your own, and tying it to this person specifically. This would be, for example, a technology consultant to see what the issues and trends are that their clients are facing, just to start kicking off a conversation, right? And that's what this is about. So these are some questions, examples that are good. So after the event, there is still some work to do. So definitely, if you've attended it, you've met with a bunch of people, you've maybe linked in with people or gotten cards. Afterwards, you're definitely going to want to make sure you've sent that LinkedIn request so that you can keep it tied to individuals. Thank them for the opportunity to meet with them. Always great to send thank yous to individuals, and then stay in touch to build a relationship. For you, it's going to be important to set a plan of how often you want to maintain sort of a touch point with individuals. Maybe it's every 3 months, maybe it's every 6 months or something like that. But it is important to build relationships that you are developing through events like this. And then use the information you learn to enhance your career and future networking. Through these conversations, undoubtedly, you're going to get insights, information, tips, advice, etc. Use that information to enhance your career and future networking. It's important to do that because ultimately this is about growth. So happy to hear that you're going to be attending a networking event at Baruch College, whether in person or virtually. If you have further questions, the Graduate Career Management Center is always here for you. You can schedule a career coaching appointment through Handshake. Handshake is always there for your needs. And if you have any questions at all, please email us at zicklin.gcmc@baruch.cuny.edu. We're here for you and look forward to seeing you at the next networking event.